What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in City Skylines, the town of Springwood. I had to double check. This is an old one. This is one of my first tutorial towns that I built. And previously I'd shown that I'm starting to work on redesigning it because, unfortunately, the only way I knew how to deal with traffic when I first started out was putting 6-lane roads everywhere, and it's not very pretty. It's functional, but it's not very pretty. And I understood the game mechanics, but I did not really understand how to make an aesthetically pleasing map. Look at all that pavement. It's ridiculous, right? So I started to redesign this neighborhood. Franklin, it was Franklin Heights, now it's Franklin Park. And I did a Park Life park up through here. And I took most of the 6-lane roads out, narrowed down those streets to 2-lane streets. We still have a one-way 6-lane road going around the outside. It's a bit overkill. And then we have the cross streets in the middle are 6 lanes, but everything else is 2-lane roads. And I'm going to continue that over here. We're going to slowly but surely rebuild this map and let it kind of heal and repair itself. And we're slowly dezoning stuff and moving stuff out. And then as needs crop up, we'll rebuild those neighborhoods with a lot less 6-lane roads. So hopefully the whole thing's going to look a lot better when it's all said and done. Over here, I switched everything over to green cities because this map was a European map. And although I do like the look of these buildings to some extent, I don't want them all over the map. And I think I much prefer the green cities buildings. So we're going to do something like that. I'm going to slowly start to rebuild again over here, keeping some of the basic structure of the neighborhood intact, but narrowing things down quite a bit and getting away from these massive 6-lane roads that just don't look good. So let me do that. I'm going to time lapse this just like I did the last episode. So it's more about just kind of seeing what I'm changing along the way. But I'm going to start gutting out a lot of these roads because you can see we don't need this much traffic coming through here. There's little spots where things are getting backed up because back in the day when I built this, we didn't have control over traffic lights on consoles. So let's start kind of rezoning, or not rezoning, but rebuilding these streets to smaller streets. And as a result, it's going to affect our zoning. And we'll have to, again, move some people back in after the fact. But again, enjoy the time lapse, enjoy the music, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. You know, if this is a series that you want me to continue. But I did want to go back and, again, just kind of redesign some of these old cities. I did start to dezone over here. This was all oil. It was kind of running out. We don't have the unlimited oil or ore turned on. And if we take a look at the info views and pollution, you can see just how much pollution the oil industry causes, but it recovers pretty quickly. So we'll get started up here. Enjoy the vid, enjoy the music, and thanks for tuning in. Well, there you have it. There's a quick redesign, and we really kind of tore things up here. But eventually, people will move back in. I borrowed some money to get our budget back in place. We're at 5.7 million and making a handy chunk of money. We do have things like the medical center monument turned off right now. I think that's the only one, though, that's disabled. If I do a quick flyby, we have the collider here. We have the Eden Project, medical center. What else do we have? Space elevator. So all those are turned on. It's the only one that's disabled is that medical center monument. I didn't really need it, and it was kind of tipping our budget into the red, which, wow, what happened to our budget? I said that just a moment ago, and it tanked, so maybe I'll have to look at those things. So we did, again, move out a ton of people to balance this out. So we'll just have to keep an eye on things. Maybe we have to borrow some more money from the citizens. I want to kind of stay above 5 million in the bank, just because when we make these major modifications, it can really disrupt the flow of the city for a little while until people start to move back in and it gets fully populated. You can see that it's mostly recovered over here, but we have virtually no demand because we have a lot more space zoned. So as soon as there's a demand for anything, people are moving right into it. So we've still got some residential demand over here that hasn't quite been filled in. So this might fill out first before some of this. You can see that the commercial areas here are having problems with not enough workers because there's not really people nearby that are going to come work at those jobs. So we'll continue to slowly tune and tweak it. Let me know if you want to see more of these time lapses, or if you just want to see kind of where this city is when it's all said and done. But I want to slowly kind of rebuild neighborhood by neighborhood, pull a lot of those 6-lane roads out. We're still leaving some to funnel major traffic through, so I've got this off ramp on the highway. I'm going to clean this up at some point, but that kind of dumps out into here. This is the one-way that carries everything up, a one-way that carries everything back, and then we have a one-way belt that kind of runs around the town for now, around Liberty Park. But we'll slowly let this fill out too, so that it gets to kind of where this zone was before we do the next one. So I'll let this play for a little while offline, but I just wanted to give you some insight into how I'm kind of redesigning this city, trying to make it look a little bit less pavement and a little bit more lived in. And we'll do that by continuing to add parks and drop in some of the new uniques and things like that. So stay tuned for more from Springwood. Until then, follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and until the next one, this is Move the Mouse signing off.